What is going on, my friends? So, another season in the crypt, another video that I have to do, and the video is going to be about, as usual, what you should be buying in the crypt. I received a lot of comments from you guys, by the way. I'm very thankful for your comments. More or less my curse is over, and this particular crypt season is going to be very special for my main account, but we're going to get to that later. Now, first, as usual, I have to go through the characters and the equipment and give you guys some advice on which you should be buying or which you should be avoiding. And of course, it's up to you to decide whether you're going to take my advice or whether you want to do whatever you want to do. First thing first, when it comes to the gold characters, what I would advise you is the following. If you don't have Warlock Quan Chi or Combat Cup Sonya Blade at all, and I mean at all, you don't have them unlocked, then you should consider getting some of those guys. If you have just started the game, probably getting Warlock Quan Chi will be useful, but again, I wouldn't recommend you to shortlist them. I wouldn't recommend to go ahead and buy them immediately. All I'm saying is that you should consider getting at least one of them. For one simple reason, both Quan Chi and Sonya are exceptionally useful at Fusion Zero. So if you don't have them in certain tower fights, that's going to be a big problem. When it comes to the diamonds though, you can completely avoid them. There is no point of getting Circle of Shadow Kung Lao unless you have other two Circle of Shadow members that are very high fusion. For instance, you have Circle of Shadow Liu Kang, Fusion 7, and you have Circle of Shadow Sub-Zero, Fusion 8, and you don't have Circle of Shadow Kung Lao, then it is totally up to you, and it's a good idea to unlock Circle of Shadow Kung Lao so he can boost and support the rest of the Circle of Shadow team. However, if you don't have any other Circle of Shadow members, then you shouldn't be worrying about Kung Lao or Kitana. MK11 Shang Tsung is decent, but he's in the MK11 pack, so you can more or less unlock him anytime. Generally speaking, he isn't really one of the best characters in Fusion Zero. He is useful though, but he isn't really exceptional. So, long story short, out of the 3 diamond characters, you should only consider MK11 Shang Tsung, and you should avoid Circle of Shadow Kitana, and you should avoid Circle of Shadow Kung Lao. When it comes to the equipment though, every single one of you should be going for the tribal headband. It is a very useful piece of gear. And generally speaking, in the crypt, every single time when you see a gear that gives block breaker, especially one of your highest fusion gears, so let's say that you have Fusion 8 revolvers and there is a revolvers in the store, you should always get an extra fusion. It costs just 600 hearts, so that's absolutely nothing. The general rule is as following. If you have a block breaking gear, you should go ahead and buy it. And if there is a gear that gives resistance to all the buffs, for instance like the Earth Elemental face mask, you should go ahead and buy it. For 600 hearts, it is a lifesaver. Now, let's continue. The Crypt Spider Fang. 20% chance to apply poison on combo ender, 10% chance to apply weaken when poison is applied. This piece isn't really bad. However, you already have a similar piece that is dropping from the current tower. And I'm going to showcase what I mean. If you are currently playing the tower, definitely you should be having Melina accessory. I am talking about the Wicked Sister Festive Mask, and more or less it does the same. At Fusion Zero, it gives 20% chance to apply Incurability, which is the same as Poison. Here, Poison is doing damage over time, but it's not really that high damage. And to be honest with you, the Wicked Sister Festive Mask also gives you chance to apply Bleed. So if you have the Incurability plus Bleed, in my opinion, is better than just Poison. And the 10% chance to apply Weaken, it's not really that great. I'm talking about the Spider Fang. So I reckon you should consider the Spider Fang. It isn't really a horrible piece of gear, but if you have the Melina's accessory, in my opinion, it is better. The Tamer Hassan Boots, though, is a very useful armor. Look at this, at Fusion Zero, 20% power generation, always useful, and 35% max health boost. So this piece gives you defensive, let's say, abilities, and it gives you utility when it comes to the power generation. So definitely one of the very best options that you have in the current tower. So if I have to summarize, out of the equipment, you should go ahead and buy the tribal headband, and you should go ahead and buy the Tamer's Hessian boots if you don't have it unlocked. If you have it already unlocked, then you should only consider the Tamer's Hessian boots. I will buy it on my main account, you're going to find out why. But when it comes to the characters, you should consider buying Warlock Quan Chi if you don't have him, and you should consider buying Combat Cup Sonya Blade if you don't have her. If you have both of them, then you should avoid getting them. And when it comes to the diamonds, you should consider getting Shang Tsung if you don't have him at all, and you should consider getting either Circle of Shadow Kitana or Circle of Shadow Kung Lao if you already have other high fusion Circle of Shadow members. Now let's jump to my main account so I can show you why this season is super special to me. Alright guys, there we go on my main account. Now the reason why this Krypt season is so important and so special to me is because I will get my final copy of my last MK11 character that I don't have maxed out. It is MK11 Shansung. Finally, I will max him out. Finally. And that's not all. There is more. I will also get the final copy that I need for the Tamer's Hassan boot so that I can finally max this armor as well. To be honest with you, the ability that you unlock at Fusion X isn't really amazing. If the opponent is affected by any debuff, they do 40% less damage on special attacks. I mean, it's not horrible, but definitely I would expect something more from an effect that you unlock after you gain 11 fusions of an epic armor. So definitely it is good to have. I would definitely prefer the armor with that ability, I mean, compared to having the armor without it, but it is not a game changer by any way, shape, or form. Alright guys, so this is a very special season to me, but generally speaking, there isn't something exceptionally good apart from the Tamer Hassan boots. If you don't have the armor at all, you're just unlocking it, it's going to give you a lot of value. Once again, it gives you health for the Twisted Tower, which is one of the most difficult fights and most difficult towers in the game. Also it gives you health, also it gives you utility, which I reckon is useful everywhere. I hope you found this video useful. If you did, consider subscribing, give me a like, comment down below, and have an amazing rest of your day. Take care, guys.
Perfect.